What's up everyone, my name is David Arroyo, and in this video I'm going to be showing you one of the storyboarding exercises that I do with my concept art students and my 3D artist students. And while I show you the assignment, I'm going to be talking a little bit about the right kind of mentality and attitude and mindset that is required in order to be successful in this industry and in the course that I do, but also just in life in general. Just a few tips to help students and people like yourself at home who are maybe also trying to get into art. Just a few pointers that I have that you can think about and reflect on. Right, well, let's have a quick look at that assignment and I'll walk you guys through it. Okay, so this is a storyboarding assignment that I give my students during the module of story design. So they learn how to visualize scenarios that I put on the screen for about 20 minutes, and then so it's like a sentence or a few sentences, and that stays on the screen for about 20 minutes. They have to draw it out. They don't follow up on each other. This is the one I did the year before that, and that's it. And this was the first year. So so far I've done 3 because this is the 3rd intake of students that I have. This was the first one. The previous one was the year before that, and then the first one you saw was the one that we recently finalized. So let's start seeing in Procreate how I made the one of last year. The first one from the first year you can actually see on my YouTube channel already, because I've already posted it there. But at the same time, instead of talking about storyboarding and all that stuff, which is very interesting, and I have other videos where I do that, I would like to take this opportunity to talk a little bit about a few tips on how to have the right mindset to become a successful artist. And by successful artist, I don't necessarily mean that it's going to be raining money on you, but just to be a happy individual, and that you're going to be able to find a little bit of satisfaction in what you do. Okay, so also not long ago, I think about also a year ago, or maybe a little bit before that, maybe a year and a half ago, I posted a video on my YouTube channel called My Life as an Artist and the 5 Lessons that I've learned. And I had 5 tips for you there. So the very first one was anyone can learn to draw and become great at it. The second one was to not ever compare yourself to anyone but yourself. The third one was to find your focus and then specialize in it. The fourth one was don't become an artist for the money. And number 5 was have patience, success will come. You can view these ones at that video. I'll put a link in the descriptions below so that you can click on it and you can visit that video at any point in time. But it really has some very interesting tips that I've learned myself, or lessons really that I've learned over the years. But next to that, I would like to also kind of reiterate a few of these things, or kind of give my 2 cents on a few other pointers that I see in some of the students that I've had, that I still have, that might kind of help them, and also you if you're just learning art from home. It might help you also to just approach it in a very different way. So one of the things that comes back quite a lot, not from all students, but from some of them that I've had so far, is that there's a lack of confidence, which is normal. It's perfectly normal, because you're surrounded by other students that might be more experienced than you. But this might also happen to you at home. You go on ArtStation and you look at all these amazing artists and you think to yourself like, okay, forget about it. How the hell am I going to get to that level, right? And that's where I come back to the whole point of don't compare yourself to anyone but yourself. But at the same time, a very good tip that goes with that is to also stop complaining about the fact that you're not there, or that you can't do it, or that you are not going to make it. The reason for that is if you complain about it, you're kind of sending out that message into the universe, and it's kind of going to manifest itself. Okay, so I'm a strong believer of the law of attraction, and whatever you put out there, is it's what you're going to attract. So if you put out negativity, you're going to attract negativity. If you put out positivity, then positivity will come to you like as if you were a magnet of positivity. And so that's a very important thing. Okay, so complaining is a very, very negative way of dealing with life. So I strongly recommend that you don't do it. I know it's not easy. Sometimes everyone needs to vent, but stop breaking yourself down. It's very important that you stay positive. Okay, which brings me to the next point, is to attract positivity, not just as an artist, but in your life in general. Okay, here, this is very quickly. These are the shots that were done just a few days ago in class. So this is done live with the students. They cannot see what I do, and I cannot see what they do. And then at the end of the lesson, we show our work and we talk about the different type of shots. I love this exercise because you always get to see so many different shots and different versions from different students. Anyways, so getting back to this whole idea of positivity, it is very important because it is a difficult, it's a long journey, okay? To become a professional artist, and competition is unbelievably tough. It is definitely advised to give yourself a little bit of space and to give yourself time and to stay positive about it. Instead of saying like, oh my God, I'm so far behind or this or that, just say, I'm better today than I was yesterday. I'm making progress. That's it. Give it a positive twist, okay? Like turn it around and give it just a positive twist. So positivity is very important. Another thing also that comes to mind is just be realistic, okay? Be realistic about getting a job. This comes back to the fourth point that I had in the video, My Life as an Artist and the 5 Lessons that I've learned, is that don't become an artist for the money of it. Okay, do it because you really love this type of work, because I'm going to be very honest with you, this is a profession where, the demand, yes, there is a certain demand for sure, but if you were to compare that to the demand for the need for, let's say, a supermarket, every town has a few supermarkets, that demand is very different, or a pharmacy, or, these are very different things. In society, we don't need artists as much as we need, for example, doctors or lawyers or whatever the other professions are. So you just have to be realistic about this, and that there might have to be a time where you're going to have to put in some work of your own, like get a job somewhere else, making some money. Like I've done this for a very long time. Okay, I've done, a lot of my work on actual feature films was done after me doing my hours at a call center or whatever, and these are movies that came out in the cinema. Okay, these are not like bad movies or anything. These were some A-star films. You can see what I've worked on my IMDb page, which you can also find. I guess I'll just add it in the descriptions below as well. But either ways, a lot of that stuff was done. After my hours, and I already had a kid. Now I have 3, by the way. So, you just have to be realistic about this, that you just have to have patience, which comes back to number 5, that I had there on the 5 lessons that I learned, to have patience, because it's very important. Another thing that comes back a lot is that you first have to learn to walk and then run, okay, or fly. You can't expect to get the same results as someone that has been doing this for many, many years, has worked his or her butt off. That would just not be fair to that individual. Okay, if you were to get the same results as him or her within a week versus what he or she had to do for years, that would, it just wouldn't be fair. So have patience. You cannot escape your fundamentals. You just have to learn them. Okay, this is very important. And then the last point that really comes to mind is try to know thyself. Okay, know who you are. Are you good at drawing, or are you technically minded? If you are good at drawing, then use these skills to create illustrative works. If you're technically minded and you can't draw, that doesn't mean you can't be a concept artist, or that doesn't mean that you cannot be creative. Of course you can. A lot of 3D artists do not know how to draw, but they are amazing 3D artists. So use what you know, what you have, for your advantage. So good at drawing, use illustration, technically minded, look at 3D and all these things. And so there you go. These are my pointers for you to find your way through this creative adventure that you're on. I know it isn't always easy, but it can be a whole lot easier with the right mindset. So there you go. If you have any suggestions yourself, please feel free to leave a comment below. And as usual, if you like this type of content, leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care, guys.